What's up guys, Matt from TeamVLR here. This is your post Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack Blue Eyes deck profile update. Apologies for the crappy lighting. I'm recording this on the day of Yu-Gi-Oh! Day and probably not at the best time. So I want to get this uploaded as quickly as possible so you guys can watch it and maybe try running this at your Yu-Gi-Oh! Day tourney, whether it's the Saturday or the Sunday. But even after that, any tournaments after that, because this is probably what I'll be running for the next couple months. Honestly, I've been waiting for this support forever, or it feels like forever. I'm sure you guys have felt that too. And I'm going to preface this by saying this isn't the definitive meta version of this deck, but it's probably the best fun and competitive version of the deck you can play. So let's just quickly get into it. So first, the OG vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragon. I feel like it's just self-explanatory at this point. I mean, you can't really run a Blue Eyes deck without 3 of it. So that's that. 3 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This card is amazing. It's the new MVP of the deck. What it does is you can reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, so the vanilla, and special summon this card from your hand. Then you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it, but Blue Eyes White Dragon can't attack this turn, which is fine because odds are you're going to do something else. Also, its name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field and in the graveyard, which basically gives you 6 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon in your deck, which is incredibly useful, and you're going to find out why a little later on, but just very, very amazing. And you know what? The artwork for it is, I love it. It looks so good. Then 2 Blue Eyes Chaos Maxx Dragon. This thing is ridiculous. Basically what it does is it's a non-targetable, can't be destroyed by effects, 4K beat stick that inflicts double piercing damage to your opponent. It's just a pain in the ass for your opponent to deal with. I found that Cosmos, unless they negate its summon or have Cosmojo, they can't really get over it unless they run Dark Planet. But I haven't seen too many Dark Planet builds, so this card is fantastic against Cosmos. It's fantastic against most decks. I found Monarchs do have the easiest stuff to it, and I found Monarchs to be the toughest matchup for this deck in general because of Stormforth and Erebus. But nonetheless, it's still a really, really good card, and I definitely recommend running it at 2. You could run it at 3, but I found that version to be bricky. But yeah, just really, really good card. 1 Deep Eyes White Dragon. No one really uses this card. I think it's really underrated. Basically what it is when your Blue Eyes monster gets destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then inflict burn damage, so 600 points of damage to your opponent for every dragon type monster in your graveyard with a different name, which is usually at least, I'd say about 1800. Most of the time it's more. And then its second effect is you can target a when it's summoned, you can target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard. This card gains that monster's attack. So let's say they killed your Chaos Max. Your opponents relieved, they got rid of this thing, and now they have to deal with the Deep Eyes, which has 4K attack. And then if they try to destroy by card effect, their entire field gets wiped out because it destroys all monsters your opponent controls when it's destroyed by a card effect. So basically you're just making your opponent play around that third effect, because most of the time they won't do that, but honestly it just makes your opponent's life a lot harder, and I like it as a 1-of. I wouldn't really recommend running more than 1, but honestly I like this card. I feel like it deserves a bit more play. 2 Dragon Spirit of White. Basically what this card does is when it's summoned, normal or special summoned, You can banish a spell or trap card your opponent controls, so useful for banishing back row or pendulum skill to fuel spells, specifically Cosmotown. Its second effect is when it's targeted, you can tribute it off to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand as long as your opponent controls a monster, so it can cause your opponent's effects to miss timing, or miss their target rather, which is very, very useful. Then the former MVP of the deck, Sage with Eyes of Blue, is definitely the runner-up now. It's still so good. Basically what it does is when it's normal summon, you can search out a level 1 Light Tuner, usually Effect Failure, or you can search out your Ancient Whitestone if you need it. And then its second effect is you can discard it, target an effect monster you control, send that to the graveyard, then special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, so very, very useful there. And honestly, just a really, really good card. Then triple the Whitestone Ancients. When this card is sent to the graveyard during the end phase, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Great effect. You can summon your Blue Eyes White Dragon or your Dragon Spirit of White to banish back row, and then its second effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard, add a Blue Eyes monster back to your hand. Also very, very useful to recycle either your alternative White Dragon, your Chaos Maxx Dragon, your Synchro, your Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, whatever it is, get it back to your hand or send it back to the extra deck. Then triple Manju, just to speed up the ritual engine, search out either Chaos Maxx or the spells. It also combos pretty well with Sage. If you summon this, use its effect, get out whatever you need, Chaos Maxx or the spell, then you say target this with Sage and then get a Blue Eyes off it. So honestly, I like it. It speeds up the ritual part, gets Chaos Maxx out faster, run it at 3. Triple Maxx C, just because the meta is all special summoning and you want to draw as many cards as possible while also punishing your opponent for special summoning so much. It's just a really good card that helps you thin out your deck. You want to draw as many cards as possible, definitely run this at 3. Then one Effect Failure. You know what? It's a good card. It doesn't see as much use as it used to, but the fact that you can search it and just put some pressure on your opponent, it's just really good. And then triple Melody of Awakening Dragon. Just a really, really good card. It speeds up the deck so much. Search out your Blue Eyes White Dragon, your alternative White Dragon, or maybe you have both of those in your hand already, you need Chaos Maxx, you can search that out too. Just really, really, really good card. Definitely run this at 3. Then triple Return of the Dragon Lords, another new card that came out a few weeks ago actually. Basically what this is just Monster Reborn for level 7 and 8 dragons in your graveyard, and there's no once per turn restriction like Silver's Cry, and then the second effect is if a dragon type monster you control be destroyed, you can banish this instead, which is just really, honestly, it's kind of broken. It'll probably get banned in the future, but run this at 3. It's so good, definitely necessary. And then triple Trade-In. Again, just trying to draw as many cards as possible, pitch whatever you need from your hand to draw. If you draw Dragon Spirit of White, that's 100% the card you want to discard because that thing is dead in your hand. But yeah, definitely run this at 3. Double Twin Twister, we don't like back row. You definitely want to get rid of it. And I felt like 1 wasn't enough, so I bumped it to 2. And I see enough use out of it, so definitely run this at 2 in the main deck. Maybe 1, but I prefer 2. 1 Dragon's Mirror, because we use the new Ultimate Dragon. And you don't want to run 2 because it's bricky, but 1 is good. It's not your go-to play, but it's still really fun to drop and just get out the new Ultimate Dragon. It's so fun. 1 Dragon Shrine to, again, thin out the deck, speed things up. If you have Dragon's Mirror in your hand, very useful because you can dump an alternative White Dragon and a vanilla Blue Eyes. And then you might be able to quickly go into Ultimate Dragon. Just a very, very useful card in this deck. one soul charge, because soul charge is kind of broken, honestly. You can special summon up to 5 monsters, pay 5,000, it's fine, or special summon whatever you need from your graveyard. And in this deck, you can, it's just really, really good, because your opponent's gonna have a really hard time getting over the beat sticks in this deck. And then 1 advanced ritual art and 1 chaos form, because you want to ritual summon your chaos max. And one thing you might be wondering is, why don't I run 2 of either or? I didn't want to run 2 advanced ritual art because I found that by the second or third turn, I'd already gotten rid of all the vanilla blue eyes in my deck and had no way of getting them back into my deck. And chaos form lets me banish from the graveyard, but I also don't want to go minus. If I draw 2 of these, I don't want to send one from my hand, so I'd rather banish. But yeah, I'd run 1 of each, but that's just based on my testing of the deck. So now the extra deck, you have 3 copies of the new Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Honestly, it felt kind of wrong running a Blue Eyes deck without Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon before, but the OG one isn't useful anymore. All it is a big beat stick, but this one is just a big beat stick and it's got a good effect. So when this card attacks, you can, as long as it attacks successfully, you can send another Blue Eyes or fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This card can attack again. It can do it up to 2 more times that turn, so a total of 3 times. It can attack up to 3 times per turn. And then, if somehow your opponent either survives that, or they stop the first one and it gets into the graveyard, if a Blue Eyes monster you control is targeted by an effect, you can banish this from your graveyard and negate and destroy whatever card did that. So just really, really good. This thing is an OTK machine. It's won me a ton of duels. I love this card. I'm so happy Ultimate Dragon got a retrain. And then 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. Very good card. Can't be destroyed by battle. If it battles a monster and that monster is not like destroyed, it's still in the field, it'll banish it. So basically get over almost anything. And you know what? I love using this. It only needs 2 Blue Eyes, which now is just very, very easy, and it has contact fusion, so you don't need Dragon's Mirror or anything. You just need 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field. And then your Galaxy Eyes trio, so 1 Photon, 1 Full Armor Photon, and 1 Dark Matter. Full Armor Photon to destroy a face-up card your opponent controls, and Dark Matter to dump your dragons to the graveyard and banish your opponent's cards. So really, really good there. And if you use this with conjunction with Deep Eyes, so let's say this, Full Armor and Prime, plus whatever you dump to the graveyard is there, that's going to be a hell of a lot of damage to your opponent. If there's 6 different dragons, it's 3,600 damage to your opponent, so just really, really good. 1 Felgrin to either protect your cards and negate the effects of your opponent's cards, whatever it is. Probably still the best rank 8 out there. 1 Dragulon, very, very good in the mirror match. If you control no other monsters, you can special summon a dragon from your hand, or take control of a dragon your opponent controls, or negate, or I'm pretty sure it's either negate or... Okay, so your opponent's dragon type monsters cannot activate their effects, which is again really, really good in the mirror match. And then 1 Hope Harbinger, just to pressure your opponent a bit more and make them be smart about their spell usage. Then 2 Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, an anti-pendulum card, negates 1 effect, or once per turn it can negate an effect in your opponent's graveyard, which is really, really good. And you can tribute it and special summon a light dragon type synchro monster, as long as it's a synchro summon card. You can't soul charge this and then tribute it off, it won't work. So one of the targets to summon is Azure Eyes, the original Blue Eyes Synchro. they're still incredibly useful. Protects your dragons. During the standby phase, summon a normal dragon type monster from the graveyard, or just no, any normal type monster. So it could be your Dragon Spirit of White, because it's a normal monster in the graveyard, or in your hand, or you can target your regular vanilla Blue Eyes. One Crystal Wing, because this thing is insane. Negate a monster effect once per turn, gain that monster's attack, or when it battles, it basically is an honest and it gains that monster's attack as long as it's level 5 or higher. Then your 2 level 7 synchros, one is Michael to banish one card your opponent controls, and one Black Rose, because if your opponent is going into one of their power plays, or when they're just they're going off and they get their boss monster out, you can tribute Blue Eye Spirit, summon this, send that monster back. All their work was for nothing. Usually go into this on my opponent's turn. This one is for my turn, because I usually, when I summon these, I hope I can go into Crystal Wing after. But yeah, that is the extra deck. So let's quickly go into the side deck now. 2 Flying C, basically to counter PK Fire or Burning Abyss, to prevent your opponent from XC summoning, and it's your cheaper Ghost Reaper. 2 Gameciel, because you want this to get over Cosmos mainly, and also kind of helps against Monarchs, or basically anything, because Kaijus are just great. 2 DD Crow, this is more for the mirror match. It's not exactly, it's a cheaper Cycle Reader, and honestly it has more versatility than Cycle Reader, because you can also tech this in against Monarchs, because let's say your opponent dumps Pantheism to the grave, you can banish that, or you can banish their Eidos so they can't summon Edia. It just has a bit more usage, a bit more versatile, and I think you're going to start seeing this in a lot more side decks now. Double Fog King, I don't have another one, I'm hoping I get one soon. Mainly for the Monarch matchup, you don't normal summon a lot in this deck, and you can basically just drop a 3k Fogging on your opponent, because you probably be tributing a Blue Eyes White Dragon to summon this, and that is kind of ridiculous. And cards can be tributed when it's on the field, so just really, really good. For Monarchs, 1 extra Twin Twister in case you might need it. Triple Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, because we don't like PK Fire, and I could also side this in against Cosmos. And then your 3 one-off traps, Vanities, Solemn Warning, and Bottomless. Vanities to prevent your opponent from special summoning, Solemn Warning to negate summons, and Bottomless to banish a monster. I'm thinking about getting rid of these for Triple Massacre Restrict. I don't know. I'm gonna test. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that was the deck. Honestly, I'm really excited to use this for the next little bit. I've been waiting for the support forever. I'm sure you guys have too. So excited. Now just a bit of a channel update. We do have a new series that we've started. It's basically text against the meta decks, in case you guys aren't sure about what to side in against meta decks. We just started that. I'll leave a link to that in the video and in the description, and also keep an eye out on our channel for a Dark Illusion preview. I'll be previewing what cards to look out for in the set, and honestly, that's what we've got on the works now. We might have an opening or two, maybe some other new types of videos, but yeah. And that was the deck profile. If you have any questions or you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And that is Matt from TeamVLR signing out.